Weekend, Chicago saw decreases in shootings, shooting victims, and homicides compared to the same week in 2021. Compared to that same week, shootings were down 44%, shooting victims were down 39%, and homicides were down 89%. That's this same week compared to the previous week in 2021. There was one homicide and officers took over the weekend. There was one homicide over the weekend, one. And officers took 98 firearms off the streets this weekend, 98. Just the weekend, gun recoveries. When we think about gun violence and the fact that 19 Chicago police officers have been shot at or shot so far this year, our work remains crucial. Overall, since the beginning of the year, shootings, shooting victims, and homicides are all down. That's since the beginning of the year. Previous stat I mentioned was just for the week compared to the previous week in 2021. Year-to-date compared to 2021, shootings are down 15%. The number of shooting victims is down 14%, and homicides are down 9%. That's January to date compared to the same period in 2021. Last year, the city had experienced 240 murders at this point. So far this year, there's been 219 murders. In addition, officers have recovered more than 4,200 illegally possessed guns. That's since January. That's 4,200 guns. Chicago police officer knows there is very difficult and very dangerous work ahead. So it's a call for all of us to do more and to keep doing more. Citywide so far this year, one of the challenges are vehicular hijackings. Carjackings are up from last year 5%. Carjacking-related arrests is at 545 offenders arrested and in custody. That's just this year. 545 offenders for carjacking-related offenses have been arrested just this year. More than half of those offenders are juveniles. 55% are juveniles of that number. And we have to invest in our youth, of course, and keep them active, making better decisions and involved in the community. But we will also hold them accountable when they break the law. Aside from the department-led youth programming and community initiatives, Chicago Police Department also works with the Chicago Park District. The Park District is a key resource for all of our residents and offers programs and activities across the city. Keeping our young people safe means getting our young people more involved in positive behaviors. With that, I'd like to bring up Rosa Escarino to talk about some of the Park District's programming. Once she's completed, I'll come back and go through some notable arrests for the past week, and then I'll answer a few questions. Rosa?
Good morning. Thank you, Superintendent. My name is Rosa Escareno, and I'm the General Superintendent and CEO of the Chicago Park District. And I am pleased to be here with Police Superintendent Brown and his rank here to talk about the vital resources available to support families and keep our youngest residents, particularly our teens, active and engaged. And when I hear the superintendent talk about the percentages of young people involved in activity that is outside of the positive activity, it really brings to light the importance of everything we're doing at the Park District. Parks are where entire community comes together, from our youngest to our elders. Parks are offering safe and engaging, life-changing opportunities. At the Park District, we have 600 parks and green spaces and 250 field houses that are offering thousands of programs throughout the year. And as the end of the school year approaches and now we're entering the summer months, we know that our kids need to be fully engaged. And it's often a handoff from schools into the parks. And so we are getting ready to offer a full array of programs and events to keep our young people engaged. But it's not just the summer, we actually keep them engaged all year long. But this summer, we have literally 242 teen-specific opportunities. We have teen camps, we also have girl-specific camps, we have teen sports leagues, we have around 10 teen spaces activated throughout parks where teens can actually hang out and access gaming, access positive opportunities within those field houses. We also have 30 teen clubs that are scattered throughout the entire city, involved in a variety of positive opportunities and programming. We also have a lot of partnerships. One of our closest partners is our After School Matters to provide additional opportunities in our parks, including running our special recreation programs for teens with disabilities. We also host sports and recreational leadership, lifeguard apprenticeship opportunities, and many of these programs during the summer offer a stipend for some of our younger teens, so those that are 13, 14, and 15 that are not yet able to get employment with the Park District. Registration for all these programs are underway, and so we currently are fully engaging on summer camps as well as our hiring for all of our programs. And we encourage teens and parents to download the My Shy, My Future app, designed specifically to connect all of our teens with a variety of programming and many opportunities. And as I've said before, we are hiring. We have jobs for teens and really for anyone that is 16 and over or older. We are actively filling 2,100 summer positions, including recreational leaders, attendants, junior laborers, and lifeguards. While the Chicago Park District is perfect for that first job, we are also hiring individuals that are looking to have a future with the Park District. And many of our summer jobs actually translate to permanent jobs with the Park District, so I encourage you to apply. So 16 or older, please come. I recently announced, specifically for our lifeguards, a bonus for our lifeguards who require additional training and skills required to ensure life safety on all our beaches and pools. We introduced a $500 bonus for lifeguards and then a $200 bonus for recreational leaders and attendants. And just as a reminder, the beaches do open this Friday, so we are ready to cover all the beaches, but certainly for the pools, which open on June 24th, we are still looking for lifeguards, so don't forget about that $500 bonus. That's on top of your minimum wage salary. Also, I just want to say that when we activate parks and bring community together, it really enhances the vibrancy and the safety of those communities. And for many of our residents and our young people that really don't have amenities or places to enjoy in the neighborhood, our night out in the parks. We are celebrating our 10th year anniversary, but the night out in the parks brings 700 cultural events, including movies, concerts, and theatrical performances throughout the many neighborhoods. And this year, we're popping up in different neighborhoods to ensure that as many neighborhoods throughout the city are activated. And I will tell you, when I've gone into some of our neighborhoods, people are anxiously waiting for these positive opportunities, specifically the neighbors that, often are the only places where the entire family comes out, brings out a picnic basket, brings out the entire family to enjoy. When you have a park that is fully activated like that, we see the numbers of crime actually reducing. So this is a really good thing for our neighborhoods. But we also want to make sure that our young people are more aware of all the goodness that is happening in the parks. We often hear, some of the sad stories around youth, but at the parks, we have nothing but great stories to share. We have the largest swim program in the U.S., for example, and most of those are young people. We also have programs like inner city basketball, baseball, softball, who is sponsored by many of our partners, the Bulls, the Sox, the Cubs. These are all programs that are fully activated during the summer, ensuring that our young people have so much positive activity. We are also want to make sure that our parents are registering their kids for our camps. We have 14,000 kids in our camps. We at the parks are probably the largest provider of meals during the summer in camps, and we know that many young people during the school season, school is the only place for them to get a meal. And so we certainly encourage the parents to also sign up the kids for those camps. I also want to just talk again about the positiveness of the many young people throughout our city. One great example is that we have our Junior Citizen Awards. It's the 69th anniversary, and these do not get enough attention, but these are your juniors and seniors throughout our city who are competing for awards through this program, and they are not only great sportsmen, but they're also very active in their community, doing a lot of great things for the community. So again, I'm shedding light on the good of our young people, on the good of our communities, and much of that, if not most of that, is happening at the park. So I encourage parents and kids to ensure that they are signing up for our programs. Please download the My Shy, My Future app. Visit your local park district. Find out all that is happening throughout the summer months. Our goal is to keep kids engaged throughout the summer. We have jobs. We also have camps for kids if parents are looking for a place to ensure their kids' safety. So we are safe, wonderful places, and we're registering now, and we're preparing for the summer. And so now, if you'll allow me, I just want to say a couple of comments in Spanish. Mi nombre es Rosa Escareño, soy la superintendente de parques en la ciudad de Chicago. Estamos unidos aquí con el Departamento de Policía para presentar las oportunidades que existen en los parques para todas las familias y para los jóvenes. Hay muchas opciones, no solo de trabajo, pero de campestre, opciones positivas para que nuestra juventud esté activa este verano. Para las familias que están buscando recursos, les pedimos que vayan al parque local o que vayan a nuestro sitio de internet para que registren a sus hijos para estas oportunidades. Nosotros queremos tener un verano no solo productivo, pero también un verano que esté seguro para todas nuestras comunidades. Los invitamos a que apliquen a los parques, vaya a su parque local y los esperamos. So with that, thank you, and I'll turn it over to the superintendent.
Thank you, Rosa. Before we take questions, I want to go through just a few notable arrests, highlighting our shootings were down 44% compared to the same weekend in 2021, and shootings victims were down 39%. This weekend compared to the same weekend in 2021, and murders were down 89% this weekend compared to the same weekend in 2021. So a few notable arrests, if you don't mind. Incident happened on May 20th. A 22-year-old was arrested in the 300 block of South Riverwalk. Jordan Jackson was arrested. He was identified as the offender who displayed a handgun in the 300 block of East Randolph and fled the scene after attempting to enter Millennium Park. He was charged with 3 felony counts of aggravated assault and use of a firearms peace officer, 1 felony count of possession of a firearm with a defaced serial number, and 1 felony count of UUW, that's unlawful use of a weapon in a park, and 1 felony count of aggravated UUW, no forward card. Another notable arrest, 21-year-old Jalen Sanders was charged with 2 felony counts of first-degree murder, 7 felony counts of attempted first-degree murder, and 1 felony count of aggravated unlawful use of a weapon, and issues of a warrant after being arrested on May 19th, 22 minutes after a shooting that left 2 people dead and 7 injured. Sanders fled after the shooting into the subway system following the shooting at 800 North State in the 18th District and was arrested minutes later. 20-year-old Cameron, that's with a K, A-M-E-R-O-N, Abram, was also charged with 1 felony count of aggravated unlawful use of a weapon in connection to this incident. A 14-year-old male, in a different incident, was charged with first-degree murder after being arrested on May 19th, 2022. He was arrested after being identified as the offender who on May 17th kicked a 26-year-old man in the head in his 4700 block of Westlake in the 18th District, causing him to collapse and later succumb to those injuries. Another notable arrest, 18-year-old Gavin, that's G-A-V-E-N, Leon, was charged with 1 felony count of first-degree murder after being arrested on May 22nd, 2022. He was identified as the offender who shot a 30-year-old male who was driving in the 4000 block of North Pulaski on February 3rd, 2022. The victim died 2 days later. In another incident, 23-year-old Manya, that's M-A-N-Y-A, Chappell, C-H-A-P-P-E-L, was charged with 1 felony count of first-degree murder after being arrested in the 11,000 block of South Lafayette on May 18th, 2022. Chappell was identified as the offender who shot and killed a 24-year-old male victim in the 1600 block of North Mayfield Avenue on January 15th, 2022. Another incident, 25-year-old Isaac Corona, 19-year-old Antonio Gonzalez, and 17-year-old juvenile and another 16-year-old juvenile were all arrested on May 16th, and they all faced various charges. 25-year-old Corona was charged with 1 felony count of first-degree murder. 19-year-old Antonio Gonzalez was charged with 1 felony count of attempted first-degree murder and 1 felony count of aggravated battery with great bodily injury and to harm a peace officer, and 1 felony count of aggravated battery to a police officer, along with 1 felony count of unlawful possession of a stolen vehicle and 3 issuances of a warrant. The 17-year-old juvenile was charged with 1 felony count of receiving and possessing or selling a stolen vehicle. The 16-year-old was charged with 1 misdemeanor of resisting or obstructing a peace officer and 1 misdemeanor count of criminal trespass to the vehicle. The above offenders, all 4, were arrested on May 16th after a 20-year-old male was shot in the 5100 block of South Elizabeth Street from a stolen vehicle occupied by the 4 arrestees. Corona and the 2 juvenile offenders were apprehended after the stolen vehicle crashed. Gonzalez stole a second vehicle, and 2 officers were injured while attempting to take him into custody, but he was captured. 2 other notable arrests, a 17-year-old male juvenile was charged with 2 felony counts of robbery and 1 felony count of aggravated battery against a police officer. He was charged after being arrested on May 20th, 2022 for all these multiple incidents. He was arrested after he was identified as one of the offenders who entered a retail establishment in the 1100 block of South Delano Court in the 1st District and stole an estimated $10,000 worth of merchandise before fleeing in a stolen vehicle. The Vehicle Hijacking Task Force and the Organized Retail Crime Task Force worked together to identify and arrest this juvenile. In addition